All right, good morning. Welcome to the 294th District Court. My name is Judge Chris Martin. I'm going to call this morning's criminal docket. When I call your name, please say present or here. Raise your hand so that I can acknowledge you for the docket. Jaden Friedley, Joshua Hamilton, Joshua Randall Hamilton, Jacqueline Jacobs, Jacqueline Elaine Jacobs, Jatarian Johnson, Brian Mason, Warren Pruitt, Warren Clay Pruitt, Charles Stewart. I have a note that Mr. Stewart will be appearing via Zoom. That's a probation extension. Jason Bearden. A note that Mr. Bearden is in the Texoma Hospital. We'll recall his case. Kenneth Nash. For the record, Billy Otmo, CR 2241. Did Mr. Otmo appear at the probation office? He did appear. All right, there was a motion filed and granted. Mr. Otmo reported at the probation department on June 1st as ordered to sign his reset, and docket call has been set July 7th. Billy Fleming. Thank you, Mr. Fleming. Jason Mulligan. Mr. Mulligan will be appearing via Zoom with the court's permission, or we'll recall that case. Mr. Mulligan is in the Zoom waiting room. All that shortly. Michael Loeb, L-O-B-B. Michael Edward Loeb. Kaylee Pettis. Is it Kaylee or Callie? Kaylee. I may ask you this every time you come to court, so if I do, I apologize. Christina Ross. Ms. Ross will be appearing via Zoom with the court's permission, and she is present on Zoom. Appears to be anyway. The court will recall her case. Guadalupe Bahina. Theodore Usen. Charles Bennett. Savannah Cooksey. Corey Butler. Corey James Butler. Debbie Spriggs. And let's see, 11 o'clock will be Mr. Herrera. Is there anyone who's in the courtroom and I've not called your name? All right, counsel, we have anyone that's ready? Mr. Knoll, did you say you're ready? Ms. Bahina, if you'll come forward, ma'am. This is cause number CR 21160. Ms. Bahina is set for pretrial. Go ahead, Mr. Knoll.
Judge, we don't have any further pretrial. Miss Curry was or is handling this case herself. I communicated with her. Finally got a response yesterday late as a possible resolution of this case. I think we need one more reset. We need to sit down with the client. I haven't even given her the full details of what that is yet.
Any contested pretrial motion
None.
settings?
None.
So we can just set this for docket call, give you
Yes.
time to work with Ms. Bahina in the state.
Yes.
All right, court will set Ms. Bahina then for a docket call. Today being the 2nd, I would be looking at either the 5th or the 7th. If you're not available that week, then possibly the 19th or 21st,
Judge, I think we're talking about,
July.
right, I think I'm actually set here July 5th already. So that,
Okay, is that fine?
yes.
All right, court will set Ms. Bahina then for docket call on July 5th at 9 a.m. Ms. Bahina, once you sign and get the yellow copy, you're free to go. Are you ready on Mr. Houston also? Mr. Houston, if you'll go ahead and start making your way up, sir. All right, Mr. Houston's case number is CR 21264, and we are set for docket call. Any updates or announcements?
Judge, I just think we need another doctor call. This may wind up, I'm not sure yet, being a trial, but I don't think I'm ready to make that announcement yet.
What's the announcement as to why we can't announce today? Is there a reason? We're set for docket call.
Well, I think there's still a little bit of negotiation room. I'm not sure yet, but we still need to get some and review some records that we have. Just haven't had a chance to review them yet. Mr. Houston himself has been in and out of the hospital several times while this case has been pending. That's part of it, but not all of it.
State, do you have any position on the request? I'm going to research. It says that we're on our 7th setting in this case, so I'm going to go research that. But do you have any position on the request, Ms. Heisman?
Judge, I am confident that this is the state's best offer that is currently extended. However, I do know that Mr. Knoll was going to get me some medical records. To my knowledge, I haven't received those yet. Frankly, I don't believe that those will move me significantly. But if the court wants to grant another one to get those, I'm not necessarily opposed.
And judging all candor with the court, I think it was the last setting. She did receive some new, but it's not all of them. That's
4 pages. Is that all?
I'll check.
So what's the state's offer in this case that you're saying is the best offer?
It's 15 months state jail.
All right, I think what I'm going to do, Mr. Knowles, I show that this is we've been on docket call since January. So I think I'm going to go ahead and set Mr. Houston for trial. And if you and the state work something out, then come back to the court and I'll entertain letting Mr. Houston plea if there's a compelling reason, or if there's some evidentiary issue that arises, you'll let me know and the court will definitely consider that. But we're going to go ahead and set Mr. Houston for jury selection. We will start that on Monday, June 6th. So Mr. Houston, you'll report downstairs at 8:30, and a member of my staff will be down there. They'll help you fill out some paperwork. Your case will not be tried next week, but you'll be given a reset notice. You'll sign that, make an appearance. Pretrial release will likely be down there, Mr. Waddell. You can check in and make sure that you're in compliance, get your reset notice, and then you'll be free to go. Okay. And so same here today, once you sign and get the yellow copy, you're free to go, sir.
That's all I have this morning.
Do you have cases this afternoon?
I do.
Okay, good. Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Billy Fleming.
CR 20-119, State versus Billy Carl Fleming Jr. Absolutely, yeah. Make it easy. You can bring right up here to the right of Mr. Cargill if you want. All right, I believe that we are set for a competency evaluation status.
That's correct, Your Honor. I've received the report from the doctor and I'm requesting a hearing on competency, and I've expressed the same with the state.
Okay. All right, we'll set that for hearing. Are you available?
Your Honor, I've spoken with the state, and with the court's agreement, we would like to set it for July 28th, that contested docket.
July 26th?
Is that the Thursday?
No. That's the contested docket in July will be the 26th. It's the 28th of
I'm
June.
sorry, I gave you the wrong
If
date.
I could check that date again with my office, Your Honor, I apologize. She had said it was the last Thursday in July.
We do have the 28th of June this month.
I'm unavailable on that date. I knew because I'd already had a prior setting.
Right. Do you want to check with your office?
If I
before we-
could real quick.
Yes, go ahead. Mr. Fleming, just stay right there. We're gonna let Mr. Cargill do that. Mr. Schmidt, are you ready? Come on up, sir. Who'd you like first, Bennett or Cooksie?
I've got also either, but I also have this free. Probably.
Would you like to go first?
Yeah.
Jaden Freely, CR 19-231. All right, Ms. Freely, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, Friendly.
Freely, okay. All right, Ms. Freely is set today on the state's motion for unsuccessful discharge from pretrial intervention program. Court has reviewed her request for the appointment of indigent counsel. The court has appointed the Honorable Richard Schmidt to represent Ms. Freely. Court will set Ms. Freely for docket call.
Judge, I asked for a pretrial just in the event. I understand it's not successful, but I'm taking over from a different lawyer and have an opportunity to look at all the materials just in case something was missed.
What's your schedule looking like in July?
Do you have a docket on that last week of July?
The last week, just a contested docket. What I've got is I've got the 5th, 7th, 19th, and 21st of July.
Maybe the 19th, Judge?
All right, court will set Ms. Freely for pretrial on July 19th. That will be at 9 a.m. Ms. Freely, once you sign, you get the yellow copy, you're free to go. Marco, are you ready? Mr. Schmidt, can I impose just a moment?
I apologize, sir. On July 25th, I had a jury trial. It's a family law case that would have been finished by the 28th. It's not going to finish, but
You're not available on June 28th.
no, you. I apologize.
Really don't want to push it out to August. I think that's too far. So it would be the end of August.
Can we set it on that July 28th if my family law jury trial falls through?
No, the court doesn't have a setting on July 28th.
I mean on the 26th if my family law jury trial falls through. Sometimes they do, but we've already been through mediation.
Only concern is that would necessarily push it to the end of August. I'm going to try to find another date that you don't have a conflict with.
Yes, sir.
About July 21st.
If I may step out, I have her still. Apologize to the internet. It's not-
Understand, Mr. Schmidt? Musical attorneys this morning. Are you ready on both your others?
Yes, sir.
Charles Bennett, CR 22-125. Mr. Bennett is set for arraignment, Mr. Schmidt.
That's correct, Judge. I've received a copy of the indictment, Mr. Bennett. Everything's spelled correctly, understands what he's charged with. Wait for him reading as interplea not guilty, as to be set for pretrial on that 7/19 day.
All right, court will set Mr. Bennett for pretrial hearing on July 19th at 9 a.m. Court will find that Mr. Bennett's waived the formal requirements of arraignment when he is plea of not guilty to the record. Mr. Smith, Mr. Bennett will have conditions of pretrial release that he'll need to execute before he leaves today, so if you just inform him of that. Mr. Carville.
Sure. On that July 21st, we have it in the afternoon.
Be late afternoon. I would have.
I don't mind what time in the afternoon. I have a motion to revoke in Navarro County at 8:30 that morning. She's still doing Zoom, so I don't know if we would actually be doing a Zoom hearing or what we would be doing by that date. But she had said it about 2 months ago.
We could set it in the afternoon, so I would run my jail docket in the afternoon. We'd start that at 1:30, and I would stay on that until we're done, and then we can resume here in the courtroom after. So I would tentatively say 3:30 or so. Is it 3:30 to 4 is about the time that we finish. So we could set it for 3:30 on July 21st.
I don't anticipate any of the witnesses.
All right, court will set this case then for hearing on the competency evaluation on Thursday, July 21st at 3:30. 3:30. 3:30.
May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Carville. Savannah Cooksey, CR 2293. Ms. Cooksey is set for arraignment today.
Correct, Judge. Once again, we've received a copy of the indictment. She understands what she's charged with, name spelled correctly. Wait for one more reading and her plea not guilty. Yes, that 7/19 pretrial date.
All right, court will enter Ms. Cooksey's plea of not guilty into the record. Court will set her for pretrial hearing July 19th at 9 a.m. Ms. Cooksey, I'm going to have a copy of this order provided to you. It's called a TRN processing order. And what that means is after you're through with court today, in order you to go to the Van Zandt County Jail, to the Justice Center, they need to take your fingerprints because you were arrested out of county, I presume. Is that correct? So it's a requirement that the state has that we obtain your fingerprints here in this county, assign you a tracking number. And so you're not going to have to change out. You're not going to be put in a cell or anything like that. You'll take this order over there. You'll present that to them. They'll take you back. They'll fingerprint you, and then you'll be released. Okay. All right. So come over here and see Officer Ventura, and she'll get you a copy of that, and then you'll be free to go.
Judge, may I approach?
Mr. Adams, are you ready, sir? Did you even get a chance to go home?
Stay tuned.
So it keeps you coming back. Jason Bearden, CR 21278. I would note that Mr. Bearden is in the Texoma Hospital.
Yes, Your Honor, we received the same letter, I believe, that the court received. It's dated May 31st. According to Kayla Martin of the Texoma Medical Center, Mr. Bearden is currently in that facility. It doesn't specify what kind of treatment he's receiving. We haven't received word from him personally or from anyone speaking on his behalf to tell us why he's there. We didn't know he was going to be there until we received the same letter that I think the court and state has received.
Okay.
So I'm in the dark.
Try to find out more information. Court will at this time accept this to be a genuine letter on Mr. Bearden's behalf from the medical center there in Texoma. So the court will reset Mr. Bearden for status on plea. We'll set that. Was this plea to be to probation or was it to be to time? You know, Mr. Evans?
This was gonna be a plea for probation, I think. unless
Probation.
somebody wants to correct me.
To reset him for about 30 days or so until we figure out the medical issues. I got obviously 5th, 7th, 19th, 21st.
These are all July dates.
All July dates. We can do later this month. I've got check to make sure. I got June 14th.
That's a bad day.
We better go to those July dates then.
Sure.
5th, 7th, 19th, 21st.
I think I'm here already on 7th, but all those settings are in the afternoon. 7. July 21, I don't have anything on my calendar.
July 21. All right, court will set Mr. Bearden in for status on plea July 21st at 9 a.m. Kenneth Nash, CR 2271.
He's present, Counsel, Your Honor. The state has made its discovery files available to us. I haven't finished going through them. In fact, I just became aware of their availability this morning. There are some there's some video footage there that I need to review. I imagine some of that is going to be CAC interview material, for which I'll need to make an appointment to go look at in their office. I don't have any pretrial issues to take up right now, but I would like to ask for an additional pretrial setting to see what might come up, if anything, after finishing my review of the discovery.
Any other issues from the state?
Not that we're aware of, Your Honor.
Court will reset Mr. Nash for pretrial hearing. You want that same 21st date?
Be fine, thank you.
All right, Mr. Nash, we'll see you back for pretrial on July 21st at 9 a.m. I do have a matter that I do want to take up with you. I see that you are delinquent close to $200 on your pretrial release. Are you going to be able to take care of that today? Show you you're delinquent $160 on pretrial release fees to court-appointed counsel and supervision.
I paid that on the 31st.
Did you pay all of it?
I stopped by the office and paid on the 31st before the end of the month.
What did you pay though? Did you pay $10 or did you pay $160?
They told me it was $90 a month to see,
$90?
to see the probation, for the probation and the attorney.
Okay. I want you to check in with them before you leave, just so we can see what your arrearages are. Okay.
Sir.
So that's something we don't need to be behind on that. We need to be ahead of that, take care of it.
No, sir, I'm unaware.
Mr. Wood, are you ready, sir? Debbie Spriggs, CR 21372. All right, Ms. Spriggs is set for docket call today.
That's correct, Your Honor. Mr. Woodward and I have obviously been communicating about this case relatively significantly. I think we've got something in place. We approached Judge.
You may. All right, the court is going to set Ms. Spriggs' case for docket call. We're going to set that on September 27th. Set that at 9 a.m. That's at the request of both the state and defense. And so Ms. Spriggs, it's going to be quite some time before you're ordered to be back in court. However, you're still on conditions of pretrial release, so you still need to report monthly or weekly, however they direct you to. Make sure that you don't just not report until you come back to court in September. That would be good, okay?
No, I do.
All right,
I got a
I
good
know that
bond
you
with
do.
Clay.
If you didn't, I would have notes of it, but I just wanted to remind you as you're waiting until September, make
Yes,
sure you're reporting, meet with Mr. Waddell today or these officers, and make sure you check in and then, get squared away for both July and August. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Spriggs, once you sign and get the yellow copy, you're free to go, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Evans, is that all you had this morning, or do you have something else that I missed?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, I do have some attorneys that are on Zoom, so I'm going to go ahead and bring them in. I'm going to bring in Ms. Ross and Mr. Merleader. Good morning, Mr. Merleader. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yes, sir. How are you doing, Judge?
I am doing excellent. Just trying to avoid the rain. Just like Ms. Ross just got connected to audio. Ms. Ross, go ahead and unmute your phone for me if you don't mind there. All right. Good morning, Ms. Ross. Can you see and hear me okay? You'll have to say out loud so I can hear you.
She's losing her voice, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So, and Ms. Ross, if you can't see Mr. Merleader, your attorney, you may have to swipe left or right, but he's present in the hearing today. All right. This is cause number CR 21143, State versus Christina Maria Ross. For the record, Ms. Ross is appearing via Zoom with the court's permission, and we are set for status today, and we're waiting disposition of another case. To my knowledge, that case is specially set for trial in December. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so what we'll do, unless there's any other issues according to Mr. Merleader, we'll reset Ms. Ross. We'll just set her for another status, and we'll set her out. I don't see any issues other than Ms. Ross is delinquent on her pretrial release financial obligations.
And Ms. Ross did tell me that she was delinquent, Judge. I think she's been keeping in touch with Mr. Waddell. Currently, she's not working and she's trying to get disability started. But I did tell her that that is still an obligation for her, and she's working with Mr. Waddell with that.
Okay. All right. So the court will reset. We'll set this for status. I'll set this in August. You have your August calendar available, Mr. Merleader.
Yes, Your Honor.
Looking at, I've got 4 dates available. I'll let you choose 9 or 11, or 23 or 25.
If the court wouldn't mind, August 25th is good.
August 25th. All right. So court sets Ms. Ross for a status August 25th. Ms. Ross, that court hearing will be, if you continue to be delinquent by that date, then that's going to be an in-person hearing. If you take care of all of your pretrial obligations and Mr. Waddell recommends to me that you're in compliance and doing well and would support you appearing via Zoom, then the court would consider that and grant another request for you to appear via Zoom. But if you're delinquent, then that's going to be an in-person hearing, okay? All right. So just for the record, Ms. Ross has nodded her head yes, indicating that she understands the court's admonishments. All right, so court has reset Ms. Ross for August 25th, and that will be at 9 a.m. And then Mr. Ross, understand what Mr. Merleader has announced, your financial issues, so make sure that you are staying in contact with Mr. Waddell, keeping him updated on that issue. And then as soon as if you get disability started or you get a job, whatever it is, I need you to start discharging those financial obligations, okay? All right, Mr. Ross, you are free to go.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, I just have one question. The Mario Hobson case, is that also specially set?
No, I don't believe that one is specially set at this time.
I don't believe so. I believe we're
think
waiting on
both-
the December
I
trial.
think both are waiting for the same reason.
Okay,
And he's set December 5th through 9th.
all right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Merleader. Do you have any other cases on the docket this morning?
No, Judge, I'm just waiting for trials, that's all.
Waiting for trials. Okay. All right. Well, good to see you, man.
All right, take care, sir.
Your Honor, what was that August date?
That is August 25th.
Thank you, Judge.
Let's see. Also have Mr. Mulligan will be appearing via Zoom, as well as Mr. Dahman.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, I can hear you now. Waiting for you. I've got your client brought in. I'm waiting for him to be able to get connected.
I don't know. He probably won't be able to speak. He's doing chemotherapy treatment right now.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just trying to get him started his video.
Thank you for allowing me to appear via Zoom, Judge. I'm in Wichita Falls right now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no problem. Circumstances like this where Zoom enables us to do it.
No.
It says he's connecting. We'll give it a moment. Yeah, but Mr. Mulligan, can you just raise your hand if you can hear us? Can you hear me? Can you raise your hand if you can hear me? There you go. All right, Mr. Mulligan. Push that button for me. There you go. All right, then Mr. Dahman, you got muted again. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I unmuted. We both unmuted you at the same time. There we go. It's okay. It's all right, Mr. Mulligan. We got you. All right. Let me announce this case. This is cause number CR 2404, State versus Jason Lee Mulligan. We are set for docket call. For the record, Mr. Mulligan is appearing via Zoom today with the court's permission. And so, Mr. Mulligan, understand that you are undergoing chemotherapy and treatment, tracheotomy, or something of that nature. So, understand if you have a hard time speaking. So that's I'm not requiring you to at this time. So I don't want you to go out of your way to do that. Mr. Dahman, can you update the court and the state for your client? And we're set for docket call today.
Yes, Your Honor. We're pretty much in the same situation we were in last time. I'm reluctant. I'm just as reluctant right now to get a trial date as I was last time, given Mr. Mulligan's health. As far as I know, the offer from the state has not changed. At this point, he has rejected that offer. There are some things that could come that would make us reconsider. But at this point, if the court would like us to get a trial date, we can. But I'm happy to do that. But I don't know about his health and his ability to appear for trial, since he obviously can't appear for a docket call.
So you and the state believe that y'all have exhausted all negotiations and ultimate resolution will require trial?
At this point, I do, Your Honor.
Then what we will do is I will set it for trial for jury selection today. We'll set it, it's going to take some time for this case to work his way up to the top. It won't be especially set at this time unless there's a motion requested, for special setting by either the defense or the state. So at this time, it would just go on the rolling trial docket and he would wait his turn until his case is called for trial. Well, what we can do is I will set this to begin jury selection on July 11th. That'll give him some time. And then, so what that means for you, Mr. Mulligan, is that on July 11th, if you're physically capable, and if you're not physically capable, you'll need to communicate that to your attorney, Mr. Dahman, so he can communicate it to the court. But on July 11th, you'll need to.
Everything looks good. Things are good. The capacity is good too. So we don't need more capacity builders right now. We'll do today. I'll see that next week. You want to keep it on the does it matter? Okay. Okay, we'll just go ahead and make it Thursday next week. Okay. Okay. And then that'll probably, we'll kind of see that. Probably gonna be your last, treatment. But we'll, we may do one more after that.
Is he undergoing treatment right now? All right, Mr. Mulligan, if you could just hit that button for me again. All right. It's okay. It's okay. I understand. Yeah, I understand. No problem. All right. So, Mr. Mulligan, on July 11th, you'll come down to the courthouse and my staff will be down there to give you additional information about your next setting. Okay. So, July 11th, your case will not go to trial on that date, but you'll need to appear. And you'll also need to make sure that you're complying with your pretrial release. Okay. So, July 11th at 8:30 in the courthouse. All right. Any questions?
Okay.
All right. If you have any additional information or issues regarding your health or anything else, let Mr. Dahman know. He'll let the state know. And he'll let the court know. All right. Okay. All right, Mr. Mulligan, you're free to go. Thank you, Mr. Dahman.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
You as well. It's okay, Mr. Mulligan. I'll get you removed. You don't have to do anything. Is Corey Butler here? Is there anyone in the hallway?
Hello, Your Honor.
Good morning. This is cause number CR 2262, State versus Corey James Butler. Mr. Trainer, your client's not here.
I understand, sir. I did not know he'd been released.
Been released from where?
From Vincent.
You did not know he'd been released from Van Zandt?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Well, I mean, it's said in the morning because we believe that he had already been. This is not a jail docket. This is a bail docket. So we understood that he was on bail.
I did not know he was on bail, Your Honor. I just heard about it here, but we were finding out what time the court case was at.
All right, let me look up your client's case.
Judge, I would show he was released 5/27 to Department of Corrections.
Oh, that makes more sense. I knew it was coming down.
The system says.
So you believe that he's in TDC, Mr. Woodward?
That's what the jail's public data states. I don't
I'll
have,
check TDCJ.
we'll see if he's in TDCJ at this point.
I believe, Your Honor, that he's been indicted under some felony charges, and that's that picked him up.
Okay, all right. Okay, well then what we'll do is we'll reset Mr. Butler for a status of custody. Do you have your calendar available, Mr. Trainer?
One more time, Your Honor.
Do you have your calendar available so I can discuss
Yes.
dates with you? All right, are you available on either July 5th or 7th?
July 7th works, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, then we'll set Mr. Butler then for a status on custody for July 7th. And that will be at 1:30 if he's in custody, if he's confirmed custody. It'll be at 9 a.m. if he's not in custody.
All right, perfect.
It's July 7th. All right, anything further, Mr. Trainer?
No, Your Honor. If he is in federal custody, do you want me to relay that on over to y'all, or?
Yes, whatever information you get, if you'll relay that to the state and also to my indigent defense coordinator, criminal coordinator, Ms. Patty Taberham, then we can make arrangements for a bench warrant if the state elects to go forward on prosecution.
And Judge, also, just for the record, Ms. Melton just let us know from our office that Mr. Trainer is still not fully set up for our discovery portal. So if he would just contact our office to make sure we get that resolved before the 7th.
Do you hear that, Mr. Trainer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, yeah, need you to get fully authorized to receive all the discovery so that we can move along in this case. All right.
I appreciate it, sir.
All right, court has reset this case for July 7th at 1:30 if he's in custody, 9 a.m. if he's on bail. Thank you, Mr. Trainer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Mulligan, can you unmute your phone there? All right, Mr. Mulligan. Yeah, good morning. Mr. Mulligan, I don't show you on my docket. That could be a mistake on my part. Do you have a case set today?
I know my brother's attorney should be on here, Andrew. But yeah, they should have had a case today at 9 a.m.
Okay, yes. Are you the brother to Jason Mulligan?
Yeah, he has a trach tube inside him
Yes,
right now. So
yes.
he's getting chemo right now.
Yes, we've already conducted the hearing. Yeah,
Okay.
he appeared via Zoom. His attorney was here. And so we've already dealt with that, and we have set him for July 11th. So he's been taken care of.
All right, cool. Have a great one.
All right, you too.
Bye.
All right, this is cause number CR 2393, State versus Jatarian Lindell Johnson. Mr. Johnson, you are set for arraignment today on a possession of controlled substance in Code Group 2. Is it my understanding that you wish to hire an attorney to represent you in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if I reset your case, you believe that you'll have sufficient funds to be able to hire an attorney, bring them back here to represent you?
What time?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How long do you think it's going to take before you can hire someone?
Boy, he want $2,000 down payment. So I already got 1,000. So probably about the end of July to beginning of August.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can go quite that far. Typically, what I do is 30 days. So I could push you as late as July. I could give you to either July 19th or July 21st. That's about 45 days.
I have about July 31st. 21st.
Okay, you going to pick that date, July 21st? It's a Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where do you live? What area?
In Monroe, Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay. All right, Mr. Johnson, court will reset your case today, which is set for arraignment. We will reset you to July 21st. That will be at 9 a.m. So you're going to sign that notice of appearance. We'll give you the yellow copy. And then after that, I'm going to have what's known as conditions of pretrial release. These are conditions that you're going to have to comply with while you're on bail in this case.
Yeah, he already went over.
He's already gone over those for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're welcome. Brian Mason. This is cause number CR 2270. Mr. Mason, you're set for arraignment today on possession of controlled substance, Millie Group 1, 1 gram to 4 grams, 3rd-degree felony, does carry a range of punishment, 2 years to 10 years in prison, and a fine not to exceed $10,000 if imposed. So my understanding that you're seeking to hire an attorney in this case? Yes. I have a note here that you're meeting with Mr. White at 11:30.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order you to come back today at 1:30.
Okay.
All right. So I'll give you time this morning to meet with him, and then if you have Mr. White hired today, then you can have that announcement today, and if not, we'll discuss what's next.
Okay.
Okay. So just come back here at 1:30.
1:30, you said, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Kaylee Pettis, CR 2274.
Yes, Judge. We have received discovery on Ms. Pettis. I have not had an opportunity though to check a couple issues on the video. That video has been provided to me. I would request one additional pretrial to review that. We received a plea offer. I discussed that plea offer with Ms. Pettis. And like I said, just have a couple of things to check on the video before we proceed.
So you're requesting an additional pretrial?
Yes, Judge.
Any objection from the state? All right, we've got, of course, July 5th, July 7th.
July 7th, Judge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm set for trial downstairs in a civil case. It's been extended. If I can do July 5th.
July 5th. All right, court will set Ms. Pettis for an additional pretrial on July 5th at 9 a.m. Ms. Pettis, once you sign, you get the yellow copy. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Do you have any information on Mr. Lobb or Loeb?
Yes, Judge. I've attempted to call him on all the numbers that were provided. I've reached out to his family who I had contact with when he was in jail. They have seen and spoke to him as of last night. He was aware of the setting, but at this time, his whereabouts are unknown. They are seeking to contact him as well. So if I can give him just a little bit of time this morning, see if I can track him.
Will do.
And just to clarify, we are set for Mr. Herrera's plea at 11.
At 11.
Yes. I believe he'll be here shortly to
Okay, and do you need the interpreter to go through the plea papers with you?
on Mr. Herrera, I do not. On Mr.
Seven.
Yes, Mr. We will be at 12:15 going to the jail.
Is Mr. Herrera bringing someone with him this morning to assist in translating the paperwork?
I've been able to communicate with him about the offer. The only thing that we were at this time waiting on was the result of speaking to an attorney about some condition. So we've already discussed the offer, expansion offer, agreed to the offer, we're just waiting for check mark.
Okay, but you expect to enter the plea today?
And I'm advising that if he doesn't, that the court has figured it out. They will take.
Court will stand in recess until either the earlier of Mr. Stewart's arrival on Zoom, or probation extension, or the arrival of any of the following people: Joshua Hamilton, Jacqueline Jacobs, Warren Pruitt, Michael Law, or we'll do the plea with Mr. Herrera at 11 a.m. Court will stand in recess until that time. All right, I can hear you. Can you hear me? All right, let's do it.
Mr. Stewart, are you there? Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Stewart. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Stewart, this is Judge Chris Martin of the 294th District Court. And a hearing was set today to consider an extension to your conditions of community supervision. I understand that you are in Houston and unable to be here today. Is that correct? All right, Mr. Stewart, I see that the proposed modification of your probation would include a couple of things. It would include an extended period of 3 months. You're set to expire on June 10th of this year. It would, if the court approves the extension, you would be extended until September 9th. Your probation fees would be waived and your analysis fees would be waived. Can you tell me why it is that we're needing to extend your probation? You say an order of protective warrant? All right, so you don't have transportation at this time, and that's making it difficult for you to apply. All right, and is that why we're extending your probation also?
No, that was like the I owe 346, but I had hard time, but I can get it for 3 months.
Okay, so you're delinquent $346, and if I extend you for 3 months, you believe that will give you enough time to get everything paid off. So-
I'm gonna get it too.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you, Mr. Stewart, has anybody threatened, forced, or pressured you to make you feel like you had to extend your probation today?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, Mr. Stewart, then I'm going to go ahead and approve the extension so that you can get that money paid to the probation department, so that we can get you in compliance and hopefully get you expired and you can go on and go about your life. So I'm going to go ahead and sign this amendment to the conditions of your probation. You make sure you stay in contact with your probation officer. Is that Mr. Waddell? Oh, Ms. Griffin. Ms. Griffin. Okay. Make sure you stay in contact with them, and they'll continue to help you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. You're free to go, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're very welcome. Have a good day. You're very welcome.
Thank you. Now you're welcome.
Patty gets employee of the day award.
38 years old, and been to prison. I really feel like I'm not doing enough with my life. I don't have a single picture.
So we should be real tech.
Okay, do you have it in?
Mhm.
Sorry.
Oh, I'll turn this, unmute this.
Good morning, Mr. Vargas.
Good morning, Your Honor.
We have our defendant that needs your services. He just arrived. I believe he's across the hall speaking with his attorney. So we're going to do a status check on them real quick. They may need just a few minutes. I have you until what time? 11:15 or 11:30?
Let me see, I can tell you right away. According to this, till 11:30.
Till 11:30. Okay, I will make sure that he understands that. I think what we're planning on doing is entering into a plea today. So I
Yes.
believe his attorney is talking to him about that. And so we'll go let them know that we're on limited time.
Okay,
And I'll go ahead and I'll set up the interpretation here. Make sure that
and I
Right.
understand you have another hearing at 12:15 with us?
Yes, actually, I think it's,
No, I have one at 12:15 because Jonathan's gonna go over the plea papers at 12:15 with his guy that's set for 2 o'clock.
okay.
Okay,
So 12:15, and I believe that the attorney needs assistance in explaining
Yes.
the paperwork, and then the plea will be actually at 2 p.m.
okay. So in case that runs a little bit after 11:30, just let me know so that I can tell my colleagues, but I'm able to stay. You have to let me know in case it goes beyond 11:30.
Okay, well, I'm gonna work very hard for that not to be an issue. So we're gonna go check on that right now. Hopefully get started here in just a couple of minutes. So if
All
you
right.
want to, you're welcome to turn your camera off and mute, and then whenever you see me pop back on, I'll ask for you.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Mr. Vargas, just take your hand, just setting up. Usually what we do is let y'all test the technology to make sure it's working.
So are we going to use simultaneous interpretation?
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Are we going to use simultaneous interpretation?
All right, Mr. Vargas,
Yes.
are we good to go?
You want for me to activate the interpretation?
Sorry,
Spanish?
I'm already in the English channel. Do you have to switch to
Okay,
the channel?
yes.
Yes, yes, okay. All right, so Mr. Vargas, let me have you raise your right hand, sir. I'm going to administer the oath. Yeah, sir, will you go ahead and identify yourself by name and license number? Thank you, Mr. Vargas. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will make a true translation of the statements of the court, the questions of counsel, and the testimony to be given by the witness in the matter now on trial to the best of your skill and judgment, so help you God? Thank you, sir. All right, this is cause numbers CR 21-290 and CR 21-316, State of Texas versus Jose Guadalupe Rivera Herrera. And Mr. Herrera, if you will, sir, raise your right hand so I can place you under oath.
No puedo levantar. No la muevo. Es que tengo un derrame cerebral y tengo paralizado la mano derecha.
Oh, can you raise your, okay. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you for letting me know that. Mr. Vargas, if you'll raise your other hand, your left hand.
Sí.
All right, Mr. Vargas, do you swear that the testimony that you give to this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sí, lo juro.
All right, you may lower your hand. All right, Mr. Vargas, I have a few questions for you. The first question is, sir, are you a United States citizen?
No, nomás residente.
Mr. Herrera, do you understand that if the court accepts your plea of guilty today, that could have adverse effects on your status within this country?
Sí.
And have you had the opportunity to speak with an immigration attorney or anyone else who is knowledgeable regarding the potential consequences with your plea?
Sí, hablé con una agente de inmigración.
And do you understand that there may be consequences, and understanding those consequences, do you still wish to go forward with your plea in these cases?
Sí.
And Mr. Herrera, it's my understanding that you do not read or speak English fluently. Is that correct?
Es correcto.
And have you ever been diagnosed with any type of mental condition?
No, nunca.
And in this case, you are represented by your attorney, Mr. Jonathan Manning. Are you pleased with his representation of you?
Sí, estoy satisfecho.
And have you been able to effectively communicate with Mr. Manning so that you understand the paperwork that you signed today and the evidence and how it applies to you.
Sí, sí, sí.
And Mr. Manning, do you believe Mr. Herrera to be competent today?
I do judge it just for record purposes. Mr. Herrera and I have met on multiple occasions, both in my office and here at court. During those times, he's had various members of his family who do speak English there to assist him. We've gone over the evidence. We've gone over the plea paperwork multiple times. And he has, as he said, met with an immigration attorney to advise him as to his situation with this plea.
And Mr. Herrera has signed some paperwork with the court today. Has Mr. Herrera had the assistance of a translator so that he fully understands the implications and consequences of this plea agreement?
When we executed the plea, or when we were here for a plea last time, we went over that paperwork and discussed it with someone that was able to translate present.
Okay. And so you feel confident that Mr. Herrera has been accommodated with translation services, and obviously he is receiving the benefit of a licensed court interpreter today as provided by the Office of Court Administration. You have no concerns about any language barrier preventing him from understanding what he's agreed to in this prosecution.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Herrera, you are charged by information with a Class A misdemeanor offense of assault causes bodily injury of a family member. The Class A misdemeanor in the state of Texas does have a range of punishment that shall not exceed 365 days or 1 year confinement in the Van Zandt County Jail, and any fine may not exceed $4,000. Do you understand that full range of punishment?
Sí, entiendo.
Okay. I see, Mr. Herrera, that your agreement with the state of Texas to resolve your cases is that you are going to plead guilty to that charge. In exchange, the state of Texas is going to recommend, upon your plea of guilt, that you be assessed 14 days confinement in the Van Zandt County Jail, in which you will have already served 14 days and will receive credit for that time already served, that you will pay a $2,000 fine, and the state will dismiss your other case, which is an assault of a family or household member by impeding breath or circulation, which is a felony offense, that being cause number CR 21290. In addition to your fine, you would also be obligated to pay court costs in the amount of $270 and reimbursement fees in the amount of $785. The reimbursement fees would account for Mr. Manning's court-appointed attorney fees, among other potential reimbursements. Do you understand that? All right, Mr. Herrera, understanding all of that, do you still wish to go forward with the plea?
Sí.
All right, Mr. Herrera, then I'm going to ask you at this time, do you have a question, Mr. Vargas? Did you have a question, Mr. Vargas? Okay. Okay, all right, I wanted to make sure. All right, Mr. Herrera, at this time, how do you plead to that offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Prácticamente como no culpable, pero pues es cosa familiar que pasan cosas inesperadas y pues a uno prácticamente todo el tiempo uno se que yo.
So, Mr. Herrera, this court cannot accept a plea of guilt unless the individual pleading guilty is it judicially confessing their guilt for the offense alleged. I cannot allow someone to say they're guilty because they're expected to plead guilty. Do you understand that?
Sí, sí entiendo.
So, Mr. Herrera, are you guilty of committing assault causes bodily injury of a family member?
Sí, soy culpable.
All right, thank you, Mr. Herrera. And Mr. Herrera, has anyone threatened you or forced you or pressured you to plead guilty to this crime?
No, no, nadie.
All right, the court will accept the defendant's plea of guilt. The court will also take judicial notice of the defendant's judicial confession. Mr. Manning, any objection to the state's evidence as offered to support this plea?
No objection to the state's one.
State's evidence is admitted. And Ms. Heisel, anything further from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. With regard to victim notification, the state is in compliance. And just for the record, there is an affidavit of non-prosecution on file for both the misdemeanor and felony causes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Heisel. Anything further from the defense, Mr. Manning?
Nothing from defense.
All right, the court's going to take just a moment and review the evidence. All right, the court has reviewed the evidence. I do find enough evidence to convict Mr. Herrera of this offense. The court will follow the plea agreement reached between the defendant and the state. Court hereby convicts Jose Guadalupe Herrera Rivera of assault causes bodily injury of a family member, a Class A misdemeanor. Court assesses his punishment at 14 days confinement in the Van Zandt County Jail. Court awards him 14 days credit for time previously served on this matter. Court orders him to pay a fine of $2,000. Court also orders him to pay court costs of $270 and reimbursement fees of $785. The court dismisses under section 1245 assault of a family or household member by impeding breath or circulation, CR 21290. Mr. Herrera, you are hereby remanded to the custody of the Van Zandt County Sheriff to carry out the terms and conditions of the sentence. I'm going to, in just a moment, I'm going to have you come forward to be fingerprinted by the deputy. But before I do that, you need to make arrangements to pay the money that you owe on this case. If you can pay it all today, then you can go across the hall to the district clerk's office and make payment. If you're unable to pay all of it today, then you can go down to the opposite end of the hall behind you and speak with Miss LaPrade, the court's compliance officer, and we can set you up on a payment plan so that you can pay off the fine, court cost, and reimbursement fees. Do you know what you would need to do today? Are you able to pay it today, or will you need to make payments?
Ahí voy a hacer el plan de pago y para ponerlo en mi mente que voy a tener que hacer ese pago cada mensualmente.
Okay. If you ask him if he has anyone with him today that could help translate with the court. I think you'll have to switch over to the Spanish channel.
¿Dónde? No, ya ahí yo le marco a uno de mis hijos para que me traduzcan ahí.
Okay. Tell him I appreciate that. I'm going to provide him also with the card, a business card that has the compliance officer's name. And so if he'll go down to the end of the hall and have his son help translate, then I'll also send him home with this. That way, if there's any more questions, he can make that call. All right, so this time, Mr. Herrera, I'm going to have you come forward to be fingerprinted by the deputy here. And then she will give you this card and we'll get you a copy of your judgment. And you can go down to the end of the hall and meet with the other compliance officer about your installment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vargas. Certainly appreciate your help today. I'll tell you, I saved you 5 minutes. So I want to make sure you have at least a 5-minute break before your next hearing. Have a good day, sir. Thank you.
Was informed that his bondsman has called and said that he is on his way. I have not seen him at this point in time, and I need to head over to the jail to prepare the afternoon plea. If he does show up, if we just have him instructed to appear at the jail for his reset, or if you want, I can sign the reset, he can sign.
If he appears, I'll just I'll keep him here. He can stay here until you finish your business over there. Maybe you can come back over.
I have a lengthy docket this afternoon, so it may be a while, but I'm okay with that as long as the court is.
Yeah, I'm fine with him sitting out there and waiting. If he would have been here earlier, we would have attended to him so he can sit and wait. Or I guess he can elect not to wait if he doesn't want to. Thank you, Mr. Manning. All right, you do want to call some names? Who you approaching? Joshua. Warren. Michael Long. All right, bailiff, did you call those names loudly, distinctly 3 times in the courthouse? Was there any response? Surprise, surprise. All right, the court hereby finds that Joshua Hamilton, Warren Pruitt, Michael Law were ordered to appear, that failed to appear at the time ordered, that they're not present in the courtroom at this time. Their names have been called loudly, distinctly 3 times in the courthouse with no response. Court hereby issues judgment not side, alias capias in each case. Court has concluded its morning docket. We will stand in recess until